Okay, I guess in this one we'll get the little Tetris blocks. Okay, we'll get these blocks to stack, which at the moment they don't. Yeah. So we're going to go over to scripts. We have the tetramino. Each tetramino has an anchor point, and they also have 4 displacement vectors. Of course, these vectors are based on the grid. They don't represent pixels. They just represent cells, or movements by one cell. So these displacements from the anchor tells you where on the grid it is, and then this is at the anchor point. This is one to the right of it. This is one below it. This is one to the left and below it. So that would be the tetramino in that case. I think that makes an L. No. Boom boom. I don't even know what. Oh, that's the S. Okay. Anyway, you have these 4 vectors around the anchor point. You have to actually add the displacement vector to the anchor point to get the coordinate to get all the 4 coordinates. You need to add each of these to the anchor, and you'll get the 4 coordinates for the 4 parts. So when a tetramino descends and stops, we got it to stop based on I don't even remember. It must have been this. This is part of the update. If the hang time is equal to the timer, we will record its Y position. It then checks all of its displacement vectors. If its Y position, if the displacement vector plus the anchor's Y is greater than the Y of the anchor, then you should save that new position, that new height, or that new Y. So I add that to temp. Then after that, after you find basically the lowest Y coordinate, grid-wise, not pixel-wise, the lowest coordinate, if that happens to be less than 17, so there must be, 18, is 10 by 18 or something. So that is 17 is the index of the last one. So as long as you're below that, you're going to drop 1. Boom, boom, boom. So long as you're not at the bottom. Otherwise, create a new tetramino, add it to the world, and make your update function empty. So we're not deleting the one that just ended, but we are getting it to do nothing. So it will no longer spin. I can only spin the active one, and it no longer falls. What we can do is when it does that, it shouldn't just check to see if that's the end and make a new tetramino. We do kind of want to create a list of all the spots that are filled. So when it does decide to stop, create a new tetramino, add it to the world, stop my update function. We should also have a list of all the coordinates that are filled, and then this thing can put its coordinates into the filled thing. So over at setup, I guess, I'm going to go to game scripts and setup. I am going to make something like a variable, kind of like part of the world. We'll call this var fill list. And that will be all the things that, all the places you can't be because something is already there. It's empty at first. Okay, so what should we do? We will come to the tetramino, and we will, in this update function, when it decides to either descend or to not descend, we need to do things with that fill list. For instance, if it decides not to descend, it's done. We need to add all of its vectors to the fill list. So we will say for, what is this thing called? It's called this.displacements. For disp of this.displacements, so for each one of these, we are going to add it to the fill list. So fill list push, and we're going to say disp dot add vector this dot anchor. So if you add the anchor to the displacement vector, you get the actual vector for that part of the tetramino, and we're going to add those to the fill list. And we're done for that. That's good. When we choose to descend, so if you're capable of descending, before we actually do descend, or I mean actually after we descend, and we set timer 0, we should check to make sure that we don't bump into something. If we bump into something, we should back up. So we will say for same thing. So for every displacement vector within the displacement vectors list, we should check to see if fill list dot is it includes or contains? I forget for JavaScript what it is. If okay, so if the fill list includes disp dot add vector this dot anchor, so if the coordinate of that thing is in the fill list, then we've hit something. So we have to back up. So if that's the case, we will say, basically we'll do all this stuff. We'll end it early. So we'll end it early. But before we do end it, we're going to move back up. So we don't want to add all those things to the list after we bumped into something. We want to back up and then do it. So that should I think that'll be okay. I hope includes is actually a thing. Let me just check on that. JavaScript array includes, is that for real? Yes. Okay, so that looked good. And I did have that here, fill list. Yeah, okay. Let's try that. Tick-tock. And it broke. So let's see what happened. What did I do? This dot displacement is not iterable. Placements 95 and 107. 95. 97. Well, it is a list, so it should be iterable. And 107. This dot displacements. It is. That's not displacements. Did I do something wrong? So it's empty. I'm missing an S. I am an idiot. Okay. Let's try that. It went back to stupid. What the heck? Well, let's see what happens. All right. I'm going to have to refresh because that's the one that we needed. So I'm just going to speed this thing up. So hang time is 3. Dunk. Oh. Okay. Let's output the fill list. Whenever it clears. Dunk. 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 Okay. So what must be happening is that includes is not working. So we need a new type of thing that will be better than includes, because I guess includes isn't really working here. So I will write a separate function. Where will I write that? I guess I'll just say, so for displacement in that, if, well, let's write another one. For var vec of fill list this will go inside. Okay, so for every displacement vector, check that against every vector in the fill list. If that vec is equal to the displacement plus the anchor dot x, and vec dot y is equal to displacement, add this dot anchor dot y. Yeah. Oh, those should be ampersands, not dollar signs. Okay, so this and this, if they're both identical, that should, then we should do what we were going to do. Nice, but it broke. It kind of worked. I can't even inspect. Wow. It is all messed up. Kill. Okay. No, no. Oh, I got it. And it has broken entirely without explanation. So I will come back to this in the next one.